Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lynn Wiles. I'm the former chair of the Londonderry Utilities Committee and the current chairman of the Energy Subcommittee that is part of the Utilities Committee. And we're here today to talk about the Londonderry Community Choice Aggregation Program. With me is Bart Fromut. Bart is the CEO of Freedom Energy Logistics. Freedom Energy Logistics is our partner going forward with this program. Welcome, Bart.
Thank you for having me.
And we're here today to just go through a list of frequently asked questions. We're getting close to a kickoff for this program, targeting April of 2026.
Yep.
And just to get out in front and answer any questions people might have.
Absolutely. So just to jump right in, the Community Choice Aggregation Program that we've got set up for Londonderry is just a group buying group. It's an aggregation of all ratepayers in Londonderry on default service with Eversource, the utility company. We're scheduled for an April launch. We're about a penny and a half, a little bit more so, below the Eversource rate that's currently posted, and it's going to be a 7-month rate for the first kickoff.
And just to dive into that a little bit deeper, a penny and a half savings is about a 15% savings on the supply cost side of the utility bill.
Correct. It's just on the supply side of the utility bill. It's going to show up on page 2 of your Eversource invoice where it says energy services charge, and I'll say Londonderry Community Choice Aggregation.
But on an annualized basis, that's going to save the ratepayers of Londonderry over $1 million in aggregate.
Pretty significant savings, yeah.
So it may not be big on your bill, but multiplied by all the ratepayers in town, it's a big deal.
Yep. So I think for the average homeowner, it's going to be somewhere between $10-15 a month in terms of savings.
Yep.
So
Excellent. And basically for doing not a lot.
Yep.
So that's another thing too. So Bart, just wanted to jump into a couple of questions here. So number one, who authorized this program?
So this program, especially with Londonderry, we're working with you guys going all the way back to 2019. So back in 2019, a piece of legislation was passed in the New Hampshire legislature, which was SB 286, which initially authorized community choice opt-out aggregation. That bill passed 2019. Londonderry brought Freedom Energy Logistics on in January of 2020 to pioneer and pilot the first such program in the state of New Hampshire. We went to request information from the utility to launch. The utility says, well, hold up. There's some concerns that have to be ironed out at the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission. Fast forward 3 years of a rulemaking process, and we revisited this with Londonderry at that point in time. And Londonderry authorized at the town council level their community choice aggregation plan, which you had a hand in helping to author with the aggregation committee and the utilities committee. That was approved in July of 2024. We then submitted that aggregation plan, which details all that we hope to accomplish under the program. Submitted that to the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission, and it was approved by the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission in August of 2024. And since that time, we've been waiting for our window of opportunity, if you will.
Yes, excellent. So when do we start? When will the ratepayers start seeing this show up on their bill?
So the program is scheduled to launch on your April meter read date. So residents and businesses throughout Londonderry have different meter read dates throughout the course of April. So you might not start on April 1st, you might start on April 30th, depending upon your read date, but that's the only day that we can affect a change in terms of where your supply is coming from. Before we get to that point in time, we'll be sending out mailers to every ratepayer in Londonderry, and that mailer will detail what you can do to either stay in the program or opt out of the program. It's important to note that anybody that's already with a third-party supplier in Londonderry, whether you're a business or a homeowner that have already made a change away from Eversource, that you will not be in the opt-out grouping. You'll have to affirmatively opt into the program. We also have an informational session coming up that'll be hosted, I believe, here at the school. Is that correct?
Yeah, at the high school
cafeteria. At the high school cafeteria, which will be an open forum for anybody, any residents in Londonderry come and ask questions about the program. And that'll be 15 days or so after we send the mailer out, which is going out February 20th.
Okay, great. So the program becomes effective on your April meter read date. So you'll see the first impact on your May bill.
That's correct. Your May bill, which will show April to May charges.
Perfect, perfect. And you mentioned that if you're already under contract with a different supplier, the program doesn't automatically enroll you. You
Correct.
have to opt out of your contract with your current supplier and then enroll in the program.
Correct. So if you
take
do
advantage of
you
this.
do nothing, you're just going to stay with your third-party supplier.
Right,
So it's
right.
only those customers that are on default service with Eversource.
Yep, and it may make sense, and I would highly recommend anybody on a third-party contract who is looking to get out of that contract and get into this program, just understand what happens with cancellation fees and things like that.
Absolutely.
With your current supplier.
Absolutely.
There's often fine print involved in those contracts. Yep. If I'm on an electric assistance program, an EAP, will I still be eligible for this program?
Absolutely. Anybody that's on electric assistance program, anybody that's on budget billing with the utility, everything stays exactly the same in terms of your benefits. So moving over to the Londonderry Community Choice Aggregation, there's no change in terms of that whatsoever. The other thing to note is that if the power goes out, if there's a metering issue, if there's a customer service billing question, all that still gets directed at Eversource, the utility company. Nothing changes from that perspective. We're only changing one line item on page 2 of your bill, and as you'll see in April, we're going to bring that number down quite a bit.
So let's get back into the opt-in program, the automatic opt-in program. So my understanding is, we've had questions on this, so my understanding is the way the legislation was authorized in Concord back when the RSAs were created, the opt-in was the way the rules were written.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we're not doing anything here out of the ordinary. We're not doing anything under the table or anything like that. This is all above board and the way the programs are designed to run.
Correct, correct. The reason being is you need to get to a critical mass in order to make sure that these programs can get off the ground and get the buying leverage necessary to deliver the savings and customer protections that we're going to be able to deliver. The important thing to note is, let's say that you missed the opt-out period and you get enrolled in the program. You were visiting friends or family in Florida or Wisconsin. You come home and you say, what's this program? I'm going to go back to Eversource. Yep. Regardless of the duration of the contract that Londonderry has signed, you can come and go as you please. No early termination fees, no switching fees. So you still have the same rights and responsibilities that you did as an Eversource default customer. Now just think of this is the new default program just for the town of Londonderry. You can kind of branch out anywhere you want from there. Go back to Eversource, sign a third-party supply contract if you'd like. There's nothing committing you to that.
Okay, and how hard is it to do that, to opt in and opt out?
Very easy. There's going to be a website going live next week. There'll be a website hosted by Fromut Energy Logistics. But it'll also be a link that we're going to put on the Londonderry town website. You can easily get to that. Yep. You'll be able to opt out from that website by clicking a few buttons. You can send us an email, and there's also phone numbers, 800 numbers that you can call either to us, Eversource, or the supplier, which is First Point Power, to easily opt out on your next meter read date if you start in the program. If you do it prior to April 1st, you won't be enrolled in the program at all.
Okay, great. Let's talk about guaranteed savings.
Sure.
So right now we're under contract for a 7-month period.
7-month period.
Our initial implementation. What do you foresee after that?
So right now we're starting with some great savings, as you mentioned. Eversource is at 11.3 cents. We're at I think 9.5 cents and change. So there's a pretty good delta there between our rate and Eversource's. Now Eversource only procures their energy 6 months at a time, so we have no forward visibility in terms of the next rate cycle. So the goal, obviously, of the program is to provide rate stability and rate savings. So we're hopeful, based upon what's going on right now in the markets, that we'll be able to continue delivering savings each and every rate cycle, but it is not a guaranteed savings program. It's important to point out. If we take a look at a study that was done by UMass Amherst in 2023, it's about 210 aggregations in Massachusetts that are currently active. Dating back to when they first launched, there's a demonstration of roughly 80% of those communities saving money in those aggregations versus the default rate to compare. So we think there's a lot of data there to suggest that we're going to have some good long-term savings, and hopefully that bears out. But it is important to note it's not a guaranteed savings all the time. We're starting with a guaranteed savings, and then hopefully we'll continue that trend.
Sure. So you mentioned 9.5 cents roughly for our supply contract. What type of electricity is that? Are there any renewables included in that, or is there any commercial solar? I guess that would be a renewable as well.
Yeah, so great question. So as far as the program goes, this first iteration of the contract that we're doing has the state mandated renewable portfolio standard baked into the rate that we're paying of 9.5 cents, which is about 25.2% of your energy is going to come from renewable assets. Because it's the first contract, we didn't want to create a lot of confusion with different options and prices with different renewable content, but we are thinking about doing that for the second iteration. So you always have the maximized savings rate as your kind of default offering through Londonderry Community Choice Aggregation. But in the next iteration, we're thinking about offering maybe 1, 2, or even 3 options where you can upgrade to 25%, 50%, or even 100% renewable content in addition to the state mandate.
Perfect, perfect. So right now I have solar on my roof in my house.
Yes.
Am I eligible for this program?
You're eligible for the program, but it's important to note if you have solar on your roof, the issue that we're going to run into is your exports back to the grid. Right now, Eversource is compensating you for any excess juice that you're sending back to the grid, and you're getting compensated at that 11.3 cent rate. The issue with the Community Choice Aggregation program is that there's no mechanism if you're off of Eversource's supply for that new third-party supplier or the Community Choice Aggregation to remunerate you for your exports. So what we're doing is we're treating all net metering customers like third-party supply customers, and you'd have to affirmatively opt into the program. The caveat there is the data that we get from Eversource puts a big asterisk next to it and says, we can't stand by the accuracy of this information. So if you do have rooftop solar or any type of self-generation where you're exporting back to the grid, you're most likely better off with the program if you're doing a lot of exports, because you're not going to get paid for those exports on this program. So it's important to point that out.
Okay, great, great. So Bart, compare the benefits of this program compared to other types of third-party energy supply programs.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that's really compelling about community choice aggregation are the consumer protections that are involved in this program. So a lot of ratepayers in New Hampshire have had experiences in which they've signed up maybe with a third-party supplier at some point in time. Maybe you got an American Express gift card or something, some sort of an inducement, and the rate looks really good, but it only lasts for 3 months, 6 months, maybe 9 months. And then the rate expires, you stop thinking about it, and you go into an out-of-contract or a holdover rate. Typically when that happens, you give back all of your savings and then some, which puts you upside down versus had you just stayed with the utility the entire time.
Yep.
Under the Community Choice Aggregation program, there is no such thing as an out-of-contract or holdover rate. So either you're in a contract through the CCA mechanism at a fixed rate, or you're back with the utility. There's no in between. So that's how it's structured to make sure that there's none of these situations in which, you know, geez, it looked great when I was paying 9.5 and then that expired and now I'm paying 13.4.
Sure, sure.
Yep.
So along those lines, though, we're not going to get a second bill, are we?
No
second this program?
Yeah, no second bill. Still shows up, as we discussed before, it shows up on the second page of your Eversource invoice. So Eversource is still going to be the entity that you pay as a result of this program. There's no second invoice coming from Londonderry or any suppliers. It's going to basically keep all of your behaviors the exact same as they were prior to the launch of this program.
Perfect, perfect. Can you go back over what happens if the power goes out? Or
Yeah.
if I have a billing question or anything like that, where do I go?
Yeah, so I get this question a lot, and so people say, well, geez, if I'm buying my power from someone besides Eversource, will they still answer my phone calls? Will they come out and repair the wires if the power goes out? Metering issues? And the answer is absolutely. So the way the law is structured here in New Hampshire, Eversource only gets their rate of return on their cost structure on the delivery of electrons to your house. So you're still technically a customer of Eversource, even if you're in this program. You're just not buying the commodity from them. So nothing is going to change in terms of your behavior with them and their behavior towards you. They're still going to show up and fix the lines. They're still going to answer your questions, solve metering issues, because you're still a customer of theirs. So nothing's going to change in that context.
Perfect, perfect. So I don't have to learn a whole new litany of phone numbers.
No,
anything like
absolutely
that.
not.
That's great, that's great. When I look at my Eversource bill, I see it broken down into 2 parts. One is the energy cost and one is the supply cost.
Yeah.
Or the delivery cost. Does this program affect delivery costs at all?
No, unfortunately not. So we have electric choice here in New Hampshire, and we've had that for quite some time, going all the way back to early 2000s. But we can only choose who to buy the commodity from. We can't choose who to have the commodity delivered to us from. So Eversource has a monopoly on the Londonderry utility area, if you will. And unfortunately, we can only affect or impact half the bill. So there's nothing that we can do to help reduce those costs on the delivery side of the bill. Those are going to continue to go through rate hearings and rate cases at the Public Utilities Commission, where those are decided. We're only impacting the commodity portion of the invoice.
And unfortunately, those costs seem to be more than half of the bill too. So I know they get a lot of attention when there's an increase.
Absolutely,
They get
absolutely.
a lot of attention through the public utilities.
Yeah,
Commission
I'd say
and things like that.
they're much more predictable in terms of every year. Cost of labor goes up, cost of equipment goes up. So you see, between a 3 and a 7% increase on those costs every year.
Yep.
Whereas the energy portion of the invoice is much more liquid in terms of moving around, and you might get a better rate next year than we got this year, or we might have a higher rate next year than we got this year.
Perfect. And once again, the rate that we're looking at, or the rate that we're locked in at right now?
Yeah, we're locked in for 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, and that compares quite favorably to the Eversource rate right now of 11.3 cents per kilowatt hour.
And when can the ratepayers expect to see the opt-in, opt-out cards?
That will be going into Londonderry mailboxes as of February 20th, so probably start to hit your homes, hit your businesses between the 20th, 23rd time frame, and you have until, I believe it's the last week of March to officially opt out. But again, if you miss the opt-out period, you can still call and cancel, email and cancel, go to the website and cancel at any point in time with no fees.
Perfect. And I'd like to say also that the Londonderry Utilities Committee meets on the first Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock in the Moose Hill Conference Room over at Town Hall. We have a public comment session up front. If anybody would like to come in and ask questions, talk to us about this, be more than happy to entertain those concerns as well. Tell us a little bit more, or just kind of refresh my memory on the community information session that we're planning for March.
Sure. So all Londonderry ratepayers are invited to come and ask any questions they might have on Saturday, March 7th between 10 and 12 at the high school. It's a great opportunity for anybody that has questions about the program to come down and ask us. I believe you or some members of the Utilities Committee will be there, as well as maybe a member or two of the Town Council. So we look forward to seeing everybody.
Excellent. Bart?
Thank you very much.
Really looking forward to moving forward with this program. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time coming.
In the making, and I'm excited to see it go.
Well, we're very excited, and thank you in Londonderry for choosing us to work with. We think it's going to be a great program with a lot of success.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.